Good evening, everybody. I am Abhijit from Economic Times. First of all, let me congratulate all those who have made to the phase 3. We trust that you are as excited as we are. We welcome you to this live interaction with Aditya Birla Group as they seek to answer your queries on the various case studies of phase 3. We hope that you find this hangout session very useful. I will now be introducing Mr. Shubham Mundra, the first mentor from Aditya Birla Group. So Shubham works in the business director's office and is a part of the strategy team for the apparel and retail business of Aditya Birla Group. He works on strategic initiatives and projects across 3 businesses. So over to Shubham now. Shubham, I'll be beginning with the questions for more brand, right?
Sure, yeah.
So the case study is actually driving impulse buying near cash deals at more. The first question is from Hina Rastogi from I am Indore. So she's asking, is it
Yeah.
possible that I can ask for data regarding moment rate and refill rate at more supermarkets in Indore? Is it possible that we can share the data?
Okay, so what I understand from the question is that she's trying to know what are the inventory days for a typical category. So I would tell her, category-wise average. So the inventory days for an average for FNV would be around 4, and it varies till 60 for general merchandise. On an overall level, the average inventory days would be around a month. That is around 30 to 35 days.
Okay. All right. So the question number 2 is, how does more cope with the difference between impulse buying as seen at a store near a residential area or an IT park?
Okay. I think I'll just like to give a brief to the students on this impulse buying case. So this impulse buying is, it's a term coined by us. So we don't differentiate ourselves on sales other than impulse buying. So even impulse buying sales comes under sales. So we are not measuring as to currently how much we are doing in the impulse buying. So as far as this question goes, it's a, very good, we need inputs like this, that are we segmenting our cluster or a catchment, basis the current demographic profile or not. So it is for the students to come up with the facts whether our current stores are segmenting based on demographic.
Okay. Okay. The third question is, how different is more concept at a supermarket than a hypermarket regarding impulse shopping near cash tills at both the places?
Okay, again, as I said that, as a brand, as a retailer, in India, people do not really focus on, impulse buying near the cash tills. So the only difference that you will observe between a hypermarket and a supermarket would be the fact that a hypermarket has more space. So owing to more space, you might have little, a more of general merchandise stuff, more of apparel there. But
Okay.
again, given this case study, we want the students to come up. We want them to select a particular format, and we want them to come up with different strategies. And that's why there's an acute need to strategize on this front, because right now we don't have a particular strategy for supermarkets or hypermarkets.
Okay. Okay. All right. So last question from Hina Rastogi is, to what extent does consumers' payment behavior impact impulse buys?
Again, Hina, a very nice point. I think we need her to come up with the fact that does payment affect impulse buying or not. So that is what the students need to tell us, whether the mode of payment will impact impulse buying or not. Whether a customer who is wanting to pay by card or by cash or by any other means will it impact impulse buying or not. That is the kind of input that we are looking for this case study.
Okay. Okay. Great. Um, Next question is from Ajinkya, who's from I am Kozhikode. He's asking, how specific is the planogram to the layout, location, and customer demographics of each store?
Okay, Ajinkya, planogram is specific to the cluster of stores, and the clustering is done by the catchment. So if you see in a catchment, all stores will have a typical layout, and then as per the layout, we have the planograms. So right now we are not really doing planogramming as per the sociographic or demographic dividend, but you can suggest ways if it can be done. So right now planogramming is only done as per the catchment of the stores.
Okay. The second question is, what is the motivation behind changing planogram monthly, or is it related to sales margins or slow moving product promotions?
Okay, it's a very good question. So see, what happens is month on month we have different SKUs, we have different products. So there are some products which would be working for us. There are some products which won't be working for us. So every month we take stock of that. We see the throughput, as you have mentioned. If you are driving sales or not. So we see the throughput of those SKUs. So the SKUs which are not really moving, we plan to delist them. And in the meantime, we also plan to get new products on our shelves. So one is that. The other is there are many seasonal SKUs. So if you see beverages during the months of May, June in North, that time we really need to give them more space because they are the high selling SKUs then. So I think the chief reasons for changing layouts of planogramming every month would be the new product introductions, promotions, as the Ajankya has already said, and also the seasonality of the SKUs.
All right. Great. So the next question is from Shishir Saxena. So he's also asking for some data points. Volume of sales of different impulse products, average time that a consumer spends in more store, average transaction value separately for impulse and normal purchase if possible, and also if we can give him detailed breakup of the product purchased in one visit for approximately say 500 customers.
Okay, so I'd like to give the data points that I can share. The first is volume of sales of different impulse products. So as I again said, we don't really define a impulse product. It is just lying there near the cash till. So if you see a Cadbury Dairy Milk near a cash till, that same Cadbury Dairy Milk you might find inside the store also. So we don't really track that, but on a general, it is a perception that the contribution of the cash till, the products near cash tills would be around 1.5 to 2% of a total sales of a store. So you can take that 1.5 to 2% sales figure. The next question is average time that a consumer spends in a more store. So I mean, as you would be knowing, it's a little vague because you'll have many outliers. So there might be a consumer who just walks in and buys a mint and goes out and spends just 5 minutes. And at the same time, you might have a consumer, say a homemaker who comes in and he actually has to shop for her entire month's needs. So she might be there for 45 minutes. So average would not be the right method, but I think we'll go with the median. Median would be around 30 minutes a person spends in a store. The
Okay.
next question he has asked is the average transaction value separately for impulse and normal purchase. As I've been
Yeah.
saying that we don't differentiate on impulse and normal purchase, I can tell you the average bill value at a more store. At a supermarkets, the average bill value is around rupees 300 bucks, and at a hypermarket, it is around 800 bucks. And coming to the last question, can you share the detailed breakup of the products purchased in first visit of approx 500 customers? I think the purpose of this case study is to get primary research done, and I think it's a student's imperative to go ahead and find out as to what is the basket of a typical customer of more. So I think I'll leave it to the students to do this.
Okay, okay. Right. The fourth question is from Sumit actually, and he is saying that in Lucknow there are no stores by more, so he's asking if he can go to Big Bazaar or other retail outlets where he can do a primary research.
Sumit, I think I would advise you to stick to more source only because the idea of this case study is to get insights into what can be done on the impulse buying front for more. While there is some overlap on the strategy, obviously a strategy that you might suggest might work for all the retailers, but we would like you to conduct some primary research which should ideally be based on more stores. So I would advise you to pick up some other case studies because there are no more stores in Lucknow. So probably you can pick up some Pantaloons case study or likewise.
Okay, okay. All right. This is again a query from Shrikant Vijay Rao. He's saying the project deliverable should involve solution for both supermarket and hypermarkets, or is he we have to or he has to concentrate on any one of the format.
Okay, Shrikant, you can just choose any one of the formats as per your comfort. It can be either hyper or super, and you will be judged on that basis. So you need not do it for both. I understand that the analysis will be a little different for both. So you can choose one of them, not a problem at all.
Right. All right. So Shubham, is there anything that you would like to tell our participants on how to approach this particular case?
See, I would just like to give some inputs on the fact that this is a very, a research-oriented case study. So you will get some theoretical gyan online also, but I would suggest that you guys actually spend some time at the stores, because it's very important that you go to the stores and understand that the people who are, buying, who are the cash tills, what are they doing? Are they looking at the stuff that is present near the cash tills, or are they totally ignoring it? What kind of consumers are actually looking at that stuff? So I think the insights that we are looking at would be really very primary research oriented, because in the developed countries, this has been already been done and people have been trying a lot of stuff. But Indian consumers react in a different way. So I would ideally suggest, the students to first go by segmenting the consumers, and then probably identifying if there can be a common strategy which can target all those consumers. And also a second point that I will want to say is that, these store managers, so when you go to the stores, so the stores managers are not really aware of the fact that, you have been given a case study and all. So we would advise you to go as a consumer and then probably, tell them that you are been given a research project, or that you are on a college project. It's best not to intimidate them. It is best to take their support as a consumer. That's what I would like to tell the students.
Well, that's a really valuable advice, Shubham. I think this will definitely help students, and I think you got a lot of insights. If we have some more time, can I ask you a few more questions?
Yeah, please go on. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So there are questions like, what is the approximate checkout time of an average shopper at the counter in supermarket or hypermarket format?
Okay, so again in classic B school lingo, we say depends. So depends is very valid here, because the checkout time will depend on, what time of the day, whether it's a weekday or a weekend. But if you need an answer, normally on an average it varies between 3 to 5 minutes. So we are, doing a lot of work on improving our cashiering, and so we have also, come down to 3 minutes. But again, depending on the store traffic, depending on the hour of the day, depending on weekends, it might go until 5 or 7 or 8 minutes also.
Okay. Okay. Also, second question: what share of value sales typically occur at the cash till, with respect to say overall store revenue?
Yeah, so I had answered it before. So it would be around 1.5 to 2%. So there is not really a tracker that tracks this, but it is a general sentiment, and we have observed this basis of pilot studies. It's around 1.5 to 2%.
Okay. Also, the last question is, what is the shelf space area available at the cash till, like racks or shelf, etc., in supermarket and hypermarket format?
Okay, so again for this, the advice is go out, have a look at the stores, have a look at the supermarkets, have a look at the hypermarkets. Look out for yourself. What is the layout? How is it functioning? How are the different, shelves there? How are the different merchandise being put there? It is pure and pure primary question. I mean, there's no really data point to it. It is for you to go out and, venture out, find out, spend some time at the stores and give us some insights.
Sure, sure. Well, great, Shubham. Thank you so much for telling us so many insights about the case study. It will be really helpful for all the students. Now we will move to the Pantaloons. So let's hope Mr. Balakrishnan V is here, right?
Yeah, I'll just give him a call. He's on his way. He's just coming. Give me 2 minutes, please.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Dear students, kindly be patient as Mr. Balakrishnan V is also joining us, and he'll be giving insights on the Pantaloon case study.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Balakrishnan.
Hi, how?
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Great, great. Uh, so let me introduce you first to all the students who are watching this live on the broadcast. So Mr. Balkrishnan V works in the CEO office at Pantaloons, and he is the program manager for design, category planning, and sourcing projects and e-commerce business channel. Am I right?
Yeah.
Great. So can we start with the questions then?
Yes, we can start.
Sure. So first question is from Dipanvita Ghosh. So she would like to ask, what is the revenue and profitability of Pantaloons city-wise or region-wise?
Mhm.
Then also, if there are any changes in the employee base, especially the sales force at stores in last 2 years?
Yeah, I have the questions with me. I think she has given some 5 questions together.
Sure.
Um, yeah, this is the one, right? So, um, before I go ahead with the questions, we take these questions. I think all the participants are there, right? They are seeing it live now.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
See, the one of the things, I mean, just to give a introduction to this, I have gone through these questions. So most of the things
Definitely.
are Pantaloons is a listed company, and most of the details are already available on its annual report. So I can go to the specifics and give this, but I would request the participants to go through it and and start doing research based on that, and some of the details would be available there, because we are also constrained with giving information, sharing information. As much as we can share, we will do that. But I think going through the annual reports and previous performances of the company will give a very fair idea about the Pantaloons performance. So going ahead with these questions, number one with Dipanvita Ghosh. So it might be difficult for me to give city-wise, region-wise numbers, but what I can give is I can give the stores network in each zone. Let's say we have 4 zones in Pantaloons: east, north, west, and the south. So in east we have 17 stores. In north we have 25 stores. In south 21, and in west 25 stores. So you can make reasonable assumptions based on these stores split up across the country, and you can do your analysis. Am I online? Can everyone hear me? Just 2 seconds.
Crashed on their side. The Chrome crashed.
Awesome. So they will reconnect everything.
Sorry for the technical issue. I can't hear him.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry for the technical issue, everyone. So can we go ahead with those questions again from Deepanvita Ghosh?
Yeah, I'll start with that. So again, I'll start with the first question. So the revenue and profitability. So the detail that I can share with you right away that right now is, they have 4 zones in Pantaloons: east, north, west, and south. So east we have 17 stores, north 25, south 21, and in west 25. So you can, with the available data in the annual reports, you can make your assumptions and do the calculations. Number
Okay.
2, with respect to the employee base change, so at this front end only, on an average, 2 people per store leave every month. So that's the attrition or the change that's happening in the employee base. Otherwise, not much change.
Okay.
In terms of addition of new brands, recently we have launched international brands like Candies, Wyford, other brands like SF Jeans, Alto Moda, Poppers, Choppy Pie, Chalk. And
Okay.
we have discontinued some of the old brands which were held by the Future Group. So something like All, it's the plus size fashion show, dress, All, Burnt Umber, UMM, I mean the other brands as well, UMM, Lee Cooper. These are the brands that we have discontinued. So this is for the answer C, and we don't have maintain any specific database for different segments. That we don't have. And for upcoming plans for Pantaloons, at present, when we exited FY14, we were around 80 stores, and we want to double it in the next 3 years. So that's the plan. Upcoming plans for Pantaloons. I think we have covered Deepanvita Ghosh's questions.
Yes, very much, very much.
Yeah.
Now, next question set is from G. Rohit he's from AM Calcutta. So he would like to ask that, after his visit to Gariad store in Kolkata,
Yeah,
he,
I have the printout with me,
all
so
right,
I've gone through the questions. So, anyways, just for the sake of everyone to understand, because others might be interested to know these questions, they can get
exactly,
the.
exactly. That's
Please
why
go
I'm
ahead.
asking questions.
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Right? So basically, after the visit to the Gary Art store in Kolkata, he feel that there's extreme turnover in kind of apparel that Pantaloons is associated with, not only in terms of youth but also with fashion. So, do you feel that a loyal, value-based customer could be really intimidated by these kind of stark changes?
Yeah. Frankly speaking, this is one of the questions that we want to address through this case study. So this is one of the concern that we are also getting. See, Pantaloons has been giving these products over these years, and after the acquisition 2 years back, we have made significant improvements in the merchandise and also the mix at the stores. So
Okay.
here, that's the one thing that a value-based customer is he intimidated. We want to know that output or this one to come from this research that's there. So that is one of our concern as well. That's the reason for our case study.
Right.
Yeah.
His second question is basically regarding the product mix in terms of the kind of brands offered at Pantaloons. He believes that it is operationally difficult to manage in-house and external brands. So, do you think with the number of expanding in-house brands, there is a room to accommodate more external brands that may appeal to the freshly targeted youth segment and the brand conscious consumer?
See, I mean, as a strategy, we want to have both in-house brands and also some of the brands which fit into the value proposition of Pantaloons. For example, we can offer Peter England, but we may not offer Louis Philippe in all the stores.
Okay.
So we take a call based on each store. There is a call that's being taken whether we can accommodate those external brands. If a certain brand, if you are sure that it will do a excellent business in a particular store, we will as well go ahead with that brand in the store.
Okay, great. So last question from G with is basically regarding specifically regarding South Zone. So he says that from his research he identified that there is a market with a lot of untapped potential for Pantaloons with such a large population of value conscious customers who are already tapped by competitors, namely Shopper Stop, Lifestyle, Website, etc. Will the normal promotional campaigns like fashion shows, sales, discounts, or any other things be sufficient to renew this market?
Yeah, frankly, we have been doing these, but maybe from this analysis from the case study, we will get inputs as to what kind of other things we can do to renew this market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move to another question set now. This is from Kevin Thomas. Right, he's asking as he's currently studying in Jamshedpur and has got opportunity to visit the Pantaloon outlets in Kolkata alone. Would there be a provision to obtain more information about the kind of merchandise mix available for outlets in the southern states?
So more or less the mix across all the stores in Pantaloons will be the same. So you can take 80 to 90% will be the same across stores. So I think any store, if you have visited something in Calcutta, it will be representative of store for the southern state as well. So not much difference.
Okay, all right. Again, how granular should the strategy be? Would additional data related to stores like purchase trends, types of loyalty programs introduced, etc., be available for a comprehensive strategy, especially related to consumer retention?
See how granular the strategy should be. It's for them to take a call, frankly speaking. And as long as what we are expecting is whatever strategy that they are proposing, it must be implementable with clear targets. That's it. And for the additional data that they would require, see, we have a loyalty program. We have a 4.3 million plus strong customer base, and we have 1 star, 3 star, 5 star, and 7 star customers. And we give purchase-based discounts, payback points for the 3 star, 5 star, and 7 star customers, and we upgrade 1 star customers based on their purchases. So that's what we have basically for these customer loyalty based customer loyalty base, and we give certain other benefits, like we give them emailers, SMSs just for the new range, those communication. We send them catalogs for the new collections. So these are the things that we do for this customer base, loyal customer base of 4.3 million.
Okay. Then again, he wants to ask that what are the current factors taken into account while designing the merchandise mix, especially for southern states?
Yeah, that's a good question. But as of now, we are not taking any such factors. Maybe from the study, if we can uh, point out something which are very unique to southern states, that will be very helpful.
Okay. In fact, there are some additional questions that we have got. If you have time, I would like to ask those.
Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead.
yeah. So basically, they're asking, can we provide an overview of the Pantaloons value-seeking customer TG in South India in terms of SEC demographics, occupation, lifestyle habits, etc.
See, Pantaloons, fundamental strategy is to offer affordable fashion. So, a typical consumer whom we target is someone from the middle class who's aspiring into the world of brands and fashion. So, I think broadly, I think this is the target customer group for us. Based on this, we can identify these characteristics of a customer and go ahead and so this is how the Pantaloons target customer base is. And value-seeking consumer will be like that, who's not into only cheap products. He wants to get into the world of brands and fashion. Just step into that.
Okay. Okay. Again, what kind of response that you get from a loyalty program, and are revenues declining through this route?
No, we have very positive response for the customer loyalty programs. In fact, they contribute a significant share of our business, the 4.3 million plus customers. So it has been very quite positive.
Okay. Also, this is related to South India market, wherein they are asking that what kind of communication channels have been really effective historically.
So historically speaking, press ads, radio communications, and especially for these loyal customer based emailers and SMSs, and even telecalls have been very effective.
Okay, great. I think that was a good session, Bala. Would you like to add anything to this particular case study so that students can have some more insights?
Yeah. So I think the what we are looking at is, after the acquisition, we have made excellent progress in merchandise. We have improved the quality of merchandise. That's what the feedback that you are getting from customers. But ultimately, we don't want to lose or move away from our fundamental value proposition that we want to give affordable fashion. We should not lose sight of the customer whom we are targeting. So I want the participants to uh, make a detailed study as to how the customers perceive now with the new set of collection that is there in the store, and what we need to do so that we don't lose out the value seeking customer. So that's the and as far as the strategy thing, I think one of the questions that I saw was what is a comprehensive strategy. I think for a comprehensive strategy, what we need to do from a design perspective, what we need to do from a sourcing perspective, and what we need to do for marketing. How do we communicate to people? So I think comprehensive. What we mean is, from all these, I think it cannot be a strategy only from one function. It has to come through from all the functions involved. So a comprehensive strategy meaning we expect something on those lines.
Right.
So
All right. Great, great. Well, thank you so much, Shubham and Bala.
yeah,
Thank you for taking out time today to help out our participants. It was an enriching experience, and we hope that the students have been able to garner a lot of useful insights and perspectives. And we hope that it gives you a better understanding of these case studies. So, thank you so much. Like really.
yeah.
Great. And please join us at the same time tomorrow for the rest of the case studies, everyone. Thank you, students, and good night.